Hey soul family, how y'all doing? I'm going to share with you first. I've got a lot that I need to share, and I'm not even sure the order it's supposed to come. So I'm asking right now for Archangel Michael to do a clearing on my energy, on this space, on this computer, on this cell phone, in this yard. I'm asking for a blessing from my father, mother. I want to be in a state of neutrality and peace and calm. That's the energy that I wish to send out. Staying in a piece of center, balance, and calm does not mean that you are a whipping boy or a doormat to anyone. I'm far from that. I grew up in religion, and I was raised by a good old boy. If you're in the good old boys club, don't bother listening or reading any further, because you won't find this attractive. I was abused and told that I needed to be in the mall, shopping, not climbing around, not traipsing around the country in a truck and camping and basically being an independent woman that my grandmother raised me to be when I was a child. That good old boy mentality doesn't work for me. And it has nothing to do with women's lib and man-hating and man-bashing, because I have no problem with men. I came to Sedona in 2012, and the end of 2012. And when I came here, the Cougar power is what I came into, which is interesting because I grew up in Escondido, California as a teenager, and my high school was the Escondido Cougars, and I've absolutely embraced this power. This is self-reliance. This is a very powerful cat for women. I am a feline. I come from the feline race, the Lyran race, and I'm going to give you your animals, I guess. We're doing animals. To choose from. One will be the cougar. One is going to be the lion. I came in with the lion, people, right? This is a wooden lion, rooted, grounded, strong, earthy, natural, real. And this is my Freya. This is from my Norwegian heritage. I just got her yesterday, and her two, they look to me like bobcats or lynx, but they are actually Norwegian forest cats, like my cat Liger, and she's a badass. This is a woman in her power. This is what someone that you see knows her own sense of self-worth and her strength. She's a warrior, right? So you got three, and then you've got Ganesh, the obstacle remover. Here's Lord Ganesh. This symbolizes removing the obstacles in our way, getting out of our own way. Often we are our own obstacle. Okay, so those are your 4 items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, I had a dream last night. I have prophetic dreams, and I had many prophetic dreams, but I wasn't able to verify them, and I was warned by someone, be careful. You know, if you can't verify it, it's symbolic. If it's the way that not that if you can't verify it, if it's not unfolding in front of you, right? If it's unfolding in front of you, if you see it unfold, it's prophetic. But if it's not, it's symbolic. Well, I've had dreams from 7 years ago that are unfolding now. So they were symbolic and they're prophetic. So I'm getting the message from both of them. What I want to share with you is I had a dream last night, and I'm going to see if I wrote this in here. I met a woman at the Goodwill the other day. I've seen her quite often. I met her and her best friend, and they're very different, like my best friend and I growing up. I'm really short, and I was kind of feisty, and she was tall and quiet, very slim, and this girl was the tall, slim one, and her friend was kind of the shorter. Now, what was interesting is the shorter one had a very sweet Melanie from Gone with the Wind kind of voice, right? It was that was the difference. My friend had the real quiet voice. So this is what I'm going to say to you. I'll read this. It's on my Facebook page, so others have already seen this part. I got a wee bit triggered this morning, so I've given myself the morning to bring myself to a place of balance. You can listen to the video to understand the messages I'm sharing here. 1, messages through my prophetic dreams. 2, abuse by those in authority. The symbolic meanings behind the words that I speak about one thing, which actually is showing me the truth of another. So as I said, yes, there was what I thought I was watching as actuality was showing me both actuality and symbolic. So what came this morning was a little stink bug into my house. So I'm going to show you the videos. You're going to have to just watch it and you're going to have to listen to it. Okay? So let me turn this up. Oh, I've got to get my volume. My laptop doesn't have the volume working, so I had to get a little speaker. Hold on. Okay.
Sprayed his back, I didn't realize it.
So it's already going, so let me just rewind it here.
Got some cold water needle. Speaking about sacred protection.
Hold on.
Stink bug.
See if I can turn this up a little bit.
Speaking about sacred protection.
When I saw it at first, I thought of protection, right?
And he was on my kitchen counter.
Okay, ready?
Messenger this morning. This little green beetle.
If you can see it.
Speaking about sacred protection, this is a little stink bug. And he was on my kitchen counter, and I didn't realize that. I saw a very tiny scout, an army ant, and I sprayed the counter with patchouli and lavender, which ants dislike. It's an ant deterrent, and I sprayed his back. I didn't realize it. So I got some cold water and I dropped little raindrops on him to clean his back off. I don't want to hurt him.
Interesting, I've been calling for the rain.
I decided to bring him back out to the crown of thorns where he can take care of himself. Now, actually, that wasn't my first messenger this morning. I'll have to kind of sit down and get quiet. My first messenger this morning was my cat, and it was about boundaries. Yeah, because Sammy was getting lovies, Mommy was brushing him, and Liger got jealous, and oh, see the answer in his food over there. Liger got jealous and really hit him hard, scratched him with his paw, and he got a little scratch, and Sammy wasn't doing anything except for getting lovies from me. So it was about boundaries. Cats have boundaries, but in my dream last night, I watched a beautiful white panther, which this one represents, and these rednecks, these guys, one big guy and these other guys and a girl, ripped him out of the bushes with a rope, and they were pounding him on the head with a big rock, and I jumped out of my car and I went after them, and then somehow I was there, and I was looking for the panther. I couldn't find it. They kept him in a cage, and then they told me he was dead in a bag somewhere. It represented the physical abuse by police. Rednecks. These police. They were. I met a woman at the Goodwill, a beautiful woman, and her friend, and I saw a post this morning, and she was brutally attacked by a police officer and slammed. I was too. When I got my DUI, there was no reason for it. I literally had my arm ripped up behind my back, my face slammed onto the hood, and I thought, what the hell is going on? I had one sip of alcohol. That was it. And she had been in a domestic dispute, and her boyfriend at the time bit her chest. And she called the police, and instead of him being arrested, she was arrested. And she's gone, there's a lot of police brutality. And I've watched this in my dreams. About what she did. I've seen this years ago, and I was just fascinated by reading this because I thought, oh my God, I've watched this. How somebody was abused by a police officer, and the jails are owned privately, and they're a big business. And I watched in my dreams, and I was saying, go get that police officer, stop them, tell them to stop this. And the person grabbed me and said, no, they're in on it. And that's what I watched. This beautiful white panther, because of this one, they had been ripped out of wherever they were and abused badly. And she was as well. And so what she said was, there is something that you can do. You can go to federal. You can file a federal case to take this down. And she said since January, she's been cramming and has become a lawyer. And she's going to court, federal court, to go against what has happened to her and deal with this injustice. And I thought, wow, is that what I watched in my dream last night? How this beautiful white panther, who this one represents, had been slammed on the head. They ripped him out of the wild where he was. And the way they treated him, this boulder that they crashed on his head, maybe it's what they did, right? They abused him. And they held him in this place where something else happened to him. And it killed an aspect of him off, which, you know, hopefully has made him grow stronger. But abuse happened. And this one has been abused. This one has been used as a bait cat. That's what I watched in my dreams too, about a human being. They would keep him on a farm, and they would put him out, and the coyotes would go after him before they would go after the chickens, and he would run. And he's got scars on his back, and he's got open sores. It's okay, baby. He's so terrified, even of me after having him a year and a half. And
it's hard to hold
I
this.
love him very much. Messenger this morning. This little green beetle.
Frick, sorry. I sent it back. It's hard to hold. My hand is like ready to fall off.
Even of me after having him a year and a half.
I'll just hold this up.
And obviously I love him very much. But you can see on his back, I realized why he has this. He keeps licking at it because that's where they would nip at him when they would chase him. He would get away, but they would bite at his back. And now he's got this, it's post-traumatic stress where he licks and licks and licks and until he brings that back, he keeps reliving it. So now that I know what that is, I'm going to work on him emotionally for it, because this little beauty has been so badly abused. I don't know how people can do this to animals. Those people will reap their karma. But in the meantime, we've got these abused ones that, you know, we have to understand why they behave the way that they do. And in my case, this one lives in a place where the big brother was abusive to him, right? And that's what I saw. The big brother, who wasn't really his flesh and blood. It was big brother who abused him, hurt him really badly, and he wasn't doing anything. So it's given me a whole new perspective on why somebody in my life is frightened, and it's this abusive cycle. You grow up with the old school, the old good old boy mentality where, you know, man's got to be a man, right? And treats a woman, you know, little woman needs to stay home and clean the house and have the dishes ready. And, you know, when she does something wrong, oh, wow, she's made to pay. But when he's done wrong, she should be intuitive enough to figure it out. Okay, well, I did something wrong. I've done something wrong, so, you know, get over it and move on. The good old boy mentality, right? No thanks, no fucking thanks. The good old mentality is not good old boy mentality. Let me let you be loose and let somebody come after you and do what you've done to others, right? Whether you be a father, brother, an uncle, whoever you are that's mistreating a more sacred one than yourself, you don't know who the one that you are mistreating actually is in a higher form. I know who you are. And there will be no abuse in this home. And it will not be tolerated amongst roommates either. No, Liger will not be allowed, no matter if he is the older one, if he's in a higher position of authority. Hell no. Whether he's been here the longest? Nope. He got smacked by me. Like, don't you freaking touch him. Don't you go after him when he's done nothing wrong. Not even close.
Okay. My arm's like ready to fall off. That hurt. So I'm listening, and I'm getting other messages as I'm listening. I'm laughing because I was shown to the decks to take, and I was like, really, that deck? And it was the Divine Circus Oracle, and I knew and I thought, I know the card that's going to come out because it's talking to me, and it is Supernova, right? This is I'm gonna have to just bring myself back to a place of Zen again. Okay. So what I said was, I'll go back to my dream. Probably 5.5 years ago, I watched things happening, and it was very upsetting. It was happening to someone that I loved, and I went to the brother and I wrote, and I was worried about them, and now I understand, because what I watched in my dream was someone was chasing me on the back of we were in a truck, and the people in the front were driving. I wasn't in control of that vehicle. Someone else was driving, and they were driving recklessly. So think about people moving forward in their life, driving in a reckless way. I was in the back just trying to hold on, and the tailgate was falling down, and this coyote, which is like a Mexican gangster, right? A drug runner. This coyote jumps on the back of the truck and is trying to pull me off. And I don't even know how it happens, but it wasn't like I knocked the tailgate down. What I did was, it was like the light pulled down. The lights on the back, the lights were showing them everywhere I was going. And so I pulled the light down and he flew off. And he tumbles out to the side, and then we pull over on the vehicle, and I see a police car drive up, and I said to them, "Get that guy, tell him what he did. He almost killed us." And the person grabbed me and said, "No, don't. They're in on it. The police are dirty." And I'm just like, wow. Now, in symbolic terms, the police is anyone who's following you, right? Somebody who didn't want somebody to be with me was following us, and the one that I went to, the one that I wrote to, was in on it with these ones. They were all in on it together, right? Or they could have been on it with that person. All I know is I felt like somebody was in danger, and I went to someone for help, and the person that I went to was part of the whole scenario. And I've been getting a lot of messages about, you know, families, that they're all cops. Everybody in the family is cops, but they're and not everyone's dirty. It's really dry out here. But certain ones were dirty. And because they had a high position of authority, they got away with murder. They could do all kinds of things. And they knew how to manipulate the system. So there's also, and don't think I'm a man basher or a cop basher, because I'm not. Cops put their lives on the line all the time for us, right? We have to have law and order. But there also has to be fairness and justice, and we've clearly seen that there has been injustice, outrageous injustice being done. Now, it can be the opposite as well. I was talking about, I've watched somebody who went to jail for somebody else. They took the hit for their brother because the other one had, or their father or their uncle, whoever it was, or their mother. Somebody who had too many drunk driving tickets, and if they got one more, they'd lose their high position of authority. So they said, it was mine. Or maybe it was drugs, it was mine. So then they got slammed for it. But it went terribly wrong, and they ended up going to jail where the other ones got off. Now, jail could be just, you know, being held back, right? Being not allowed to go somewhere. Who knows? It might have been literal. I don't know. Sometimes my dreams are symbolic, sometimes they're prophetic. All I know is while I'm in them, I'm there. I'm a part of it. I feel it. I watch what's going on. So you guys have heard of the movie. I didn't watch it, but I know the premise of it. It's with the Joker and the girl, Suicide Squad. Okay, so you either go to jail and sit in jail, you can rot in there, or you can work for us and go undercover. And so you do what we say. We own you. We own you while you're with us. And so what I watched was they had this one that I know dress up like a female and go in to this horrible situation, and basically they were used like a coyote cat, right? Let them go after them. And they'll use them instead of the cops. They'll send them in, and the guns are blazing and all this stuff. And then they go back to jail. And when they were in jail, they were raped. Gang raped by men, right? This guy was gang raped. And it happens in foster care. It happens all the time. Now, it can also be the other way, where there's a woman who's always crying wolf, right? Drama monger, does everything, and she brings it upon herself. She pushes, she hits you, she does whatever, and then you go to like just hold her back or defend yourself, and she falls back. And she goes to the police and says that you did this to her and you're charged for abuse when she's the one who did it. Right? So all I can say is karmic justice is going to be played out. Spirit has been showing me consistently. It's been coming again and again and again. The scales of justice are going to be balanced. You will get your karma. You will reap your karma. This woman that I met was bit in the chest by her boyfriend. and she called the police. And of course she's hysterical. She's been bit in the chest. He's abusive. And when the police got there, he said that she was the crazy one. And they arrested her. And they brutalized her. And she, like I said, she started studying up. I wrote to her this morning, and after I read her post, and I said, you know, I met you at the Goodwill, and I read your story this morning, and I told her, here, I'll tell you what I said. I need to keep things straight, right? I need to make sure that I'm not saying something different. I wrote to her. Her name is Carolyn Hauser, and okay.
Hi, Carolyn.
Oh, so
I actually see you at the Goodwill all the time. Your friend, your sweet friend, and you were trying on outfits the other day, and she was talking about how you guys are the exact opposite when you choose clothing. She's the shorter, kind of more conservative, and you're the tall, long-legged bombshell. And I saw your post on police brutality, and that happened to my twin soul. And so I was very pulled in by that, and I'm very proud of you. And I just wanted to tell you that. So I hope you accept my friendship if you're able to read this. Sometimes if not, next time I see you in the Goodwill, I'll say hi and let you know who I am. Have a blessed day. If not, next time I see you in the Goodwill, I'll say hi and let you know who I am.
So, I told you I saw what I thought I saw. Now, I don't know if I saw that. For all I know, I was told they're in on it. He's in on it. You know, it could have just been I wasn't interested. There are men who are part of this good old boys club, right? They're raised by the family who believes that the little woman needs to be at home. She needs to be pathetic. They seek out codependent women that need them, that they're desperate for them, because they need to be the big man, right? They don't want to see an empowered woman. They don't like that. They don't like empowered women. They don't like somebody strong and standing in their sense of personal power. That threatens their manhood, because they were raised by these good old boys who believe that women need to be at home, barefoot and pregnant. Like I said, I was raised by a good old boy, and he abused me. He beat me up severely. I should have been hospitalized. That was the good old boy, right? And yet I chased him my whole life, wanting this man in my life. This is my stepfather. I was fucking brainwashed. I was a Jehovah's Witness for my entire life up until 13 years ago, and I don't have a hate on for Jehovah's Witnesses. They're doing what they think is right, and there's a lot of amazing people that are Jehovah's Witnesses, but it's brainwashing. It is absolutely brainwashing. And there was that abuse going on in my home, and yet he would come home from speaking on the platform and speak about the despicable things that he discovered, that there were elders in the congregation that were having homosexual affairs with other elders while they were married, and this man was fucking that man's wife, and he's just like, what the hell? And I thought, yeah, I didn't think about it, you know, until I was an adult later, but what about you? You should have been arrested. I should have been in the hospital, and you should have been in jail. And you're part of this passive-aggressive, mind-fucking good old boys club. I'm not interested in that, right? I'm not interested in a man who is not interested in an empowered woman. I am not a man-basher. I have absolute respect for a man who has respect. You earn my respect. You've got my respect. I believe everything that you say to me until you give me reason to believe different, and I am loyal to a fault. That's the problem. I'm loyal to a fault. Many of us are. We're taught to be loyal, right? To the wrong people, to our family, to our friends, to people who are doing things that are wrong. And then how can they justify that, right? So when you see, you know, they don't like to see a woman lawyer. They don't like to see a woman running her own business. A man will have it in his mind, because of being raised by this stupidity, that if she makes more money than me, that can't happen, right? Or if I've made a mistake, I can't go to her and tell her I've made a mistake, because, you know, that's fine, but, you know, let's just let it go. We don't need to discuss it. We don't need to belabor it. We don't need to, you know, yes, we do. You want anything to do with me again? You come to me and you admit what you've done. We'll discuss it and we'll see where it goes. But I'm not who you thought I was, obviously, right? And it's not so that you can be beat over the head with it, because I don't do that. I don't hold on to grudges. I don't stay mad at people. I forgive very easily, but I'm very strong. I fight for the underdog, and to hell if you're gonna see me sit still and look pretty. It's not gonna happen, right? It's not gonna happen. So I asked Caroline if I could share this, you know, because there are so many of these situations going on. They go on. There is man abuse. There is woman abuse. There is police brutality. There is preachers that do this. There are stepfathers and there are stepmothers. What about the stepmothers who molest the child at 14 years old or 12 years old, their first sexual experience? Oh, yeah, with that, you know, the good old boys think, oh, yeah, well, that's how you get your, you know, your manhood. No, that's called sexual abuse, you fuckhead. That's what it's called. That's warping that person's mind so that they don't even know what's normal in a relationship. And you, woman, if I ever see you, I'll fillet you myself. You should be in jail. You're disgusting. You didn't, and then they grow up to think that this woman is their friend, and they're confident. You know, oh, my best friend's mom. I slept with my best friend's mom. You know, it made me a man. That's what all my friends thought. No, it didn't. It made you a child of sexual abuse, and it fucked up your whole perception of what a woman is, right? A strong woman, you know, then they grow up to think that they want to be dominated. I want a dominated woman, dominating woman, or the other way around. I want to be dominated. Right? Or I want to dominate. I need to dominate. I need to be a man. My friend Jacob, his family has said to him when he was a young man, what are we going to do with you? You're this very sensitive, more feminine energy, and we don't know what to do with you. How about just let him be himself? How about just be proud of him for who he is and for his gifts? He's found himself, and he's extremely gifted. But to grow up with that's why I'm thinking about that coyote cat, right? What if you have a good old boy brother or a good old boy cousin, a good old boy stepdad or dad, and you're not that. You're super sensitive, you're easygoing, you're gentle, you're like Sammy, right? You're not a fighter, you're a lover. Is there something wrong with that? I have always been attracted to shy men. I like that gentle. It's a nice balance for me. I'm not, it brings down my more aggressive tendency. Now, I might have an aggressive tendency because I was sexually abused. I was beat up. And then I was in a relationship for 10 years where I was abused, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So I'm to the place now where I'm actually balanced because I don't hate men. I don't feel that I have to go man bash. But I will stand up for both men and women. And so I'm saying this. Caroline, she's got I'll look it up and see, because she said she would love to have as many people as possible be a part of this or support this or share this. Let me go to her page. I'm making this quick. This is amazing too. This isn't a gift. This is a gifted woman. She comes from Germany. Oh, come on, reload page. All right. So, police brutality, December 14th, 2019. After I called 911 to get help with an altercation that I had with my then partner, he attacked me by biting me into my left breast after I called him a narcissist. They came and instead of taking him, they took me, most likely because he lied to them and told them I was mentally unstable. Now, what if you have a history, because you're a gifted person, right? There are so many friends that I have, people that I know personally, whose family members had them committed to mental hospitals because they were gifted. I went to the Jerome, Arizona. It's a hotel now, but it used to be a mental facility. And I went in there, and there was a statue, and it was a wheelchair with this person crouching, terrified. And I went up, and I stood next to it. I put my arm around. I said, can you take a picture of me to my friend to show where I was? And I put my arm around this, and as soon as I put my arm around it, all the energy came through me. I'm a medium, right? Floods. That person was not crazy. That person was gifted. That person was abused and drugged and terrified because they couldn't get out. Their family committed them, okay? I've seen it again and again and again. I have personal friends that this has had happened to, okay? So, told them I was mentally unstable, and said, look, they've been in a mental hospital. So then she was taken in. I don't know that she was, right? But this is what has been done. My arrest wasn't peaceful. I got assaulted by 3 200-pound policemen, tackled, slammed to the ground, face first. Now, I'll tell you, I'm 5'2" and 125 pounds, and I had a motorcycle cop rip my arm up behind my back so hard that I thought he broke it, and slam my face into the hood of the car. Was that necessary? Was I resisting arrest? No. Have you had a drink tonight? I said, oh, I just had a sip. Bam, rip, slam. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I should have gotten a lawyer and charged him with police brutality. It was outrageous. She ended up first jailed and then in the ER for 2 days under potentially life-threatening conditions. Needless to say, my life changed in a big way that day. I knew immediately that something bigger was at play. There are a lot of things very wrong with our police and legal system. With a domestic violence dispute, officials don't need a warrant or to prove probable cause. This statute is completely unconstitutional. Our prisons are full, up to 80% with people that didn't receive due process of law. It saves money. It's a quick money-making business. The people that own private prisons make $35,000 to $40,000 per inmate per year. The prisons are the biggest growing industry in our country. One of my goals is to get this statute that allows arrests without warrants banned. You can't go to the local courts and get help or justice because the police, sheriff, prosecutors, and judges are all in on it, and they're protecting each other. I've watched this in my dreams. But in law, there is always a remedy. The forefathers of this country made sure that this is so. Now, when I was speaking, I said, you could go to the state, right? The state says that this is what happens, but you could go above them. So, in my case, this happened to me, emotionally. I have been battered and abused emotionally by these people that didn't want this person in my life. And I've taken it to the highest court possible. I've taken it to Archangel Michael, my father, and said, you handle this. I don't need to go fight you. I don't need to allow you to make my mind angry and disrupt my peace. I am absolutely a warrior, but I'm a peaceful warrior. I don't need you to fuck up my energy. I've got a really, really peaceful place here. I have a house that's blessed, and I have no doubt that Archangel Michael stands with the scale of justice and says, I will slice away anyone and anything from your life that is no longer in your highest good, and I will see that these scales of justice are balanced for you. I'm doing that for you. So I know that this woman is going to have justice, and even if she doesn't get justice through this court, justice will be done. She will be heard. She is stronger than she was before, and those people, every single one of them, they know what they've done is wrong. You know what you've done is wrong. You know that you should apologize. You know that you should make amends. You know that sorry means shit. Changed behavior is as an apology to me. Don't come to me and tell me you're sorry and want to wipe it under the rug, or don't say you're sorry and sit on your lordy ass and expect me to come to you because you think we've got some kind of a chemical reaction between us. That's not the way it flies. So in federal court, you have to defend yourself. So she's going to the federal court. Okay? She's taking it out of the state. I took it out of state too, off of the 3D reality. I took it to the federal court and gave it to my father. He presided and said, Archangel Michael, you go down and handle this. And it's being handled, right? So she's been cramming because in federal court, you've got to defend yourself. I watched this in my dreams. I watched somebody that I love defending themselves in court, and I thought, what? You're not a lawyer? Well, I'm wondering how this is all aligned, right? So I've been cramming like nobody's business since January, and I'm so pretty much fully trained trial lawyer, because she's got to be, right? I've got friends that have defended themselves before. But hey, I put my life in service a long time ago because she serves spirit, right? And believe me, spirit's got her back. And apparently, at least for now, this is how I can serve humanity the most. I've been blessed to have a great legal mentor and amazing new friends here in Sedona. And all of my other close friends and family have been super loving and supportive of me as well. I have waited to share until we were sure the federal court accepted my case, and they did. Game's on. Our intention with going public is to educate and empower. There are 40,000 police crimes committed every day, says the Supreme Court. These crimes go unpunished. No one is policing the police. No one else, unless we do. I am not afraid. We, Shine Shire Humanitarian Group in Sedona, will start to have educational meetings, etc., probably starting next week. If you want to be in on them, just comment or PM me. Her name is Carolyn Hauser, Hauser, on Facebook. She's a beautiful blonde. I watched in my dreams somebody in the military, and there was a high-ranking official that was chronically, habitually known for molesting the female and male people in the military, but nobody went against this person because they were military. And so who I saw, my friend, went to defend this one and knocked this person out, and this person lost their job. This person was kicked out because they were defending this one that nobody else would go up against and defend this asshole piece of shit that was abusing. Okay? Same thing with fathers, stepfathers, and people are afraid to step up. I'm not afraid of anyone. Anyone on this fucking planet. I'm not afraid of anyone because I work with archangels. I work with ascended masters, and I am protected. So I've heard, I've seen in my dreams too, oh, there's your witchy girlfriend. She's got a big mouth. You're right. I got a big mouth. I'm a mouthpiece. That's what I am. I'm a channel. I'm a medium. And anything that Spirit wants me to say, and they want me to say with vehemence, it comes out. I won't allow it to disrupt my personal peace because I'm actually feeling quite zen right now. So, she says, I am not afraid. If you want to be in on them, just comment or PM me. If you have friends in Yavapai County that experienced something similar connected with me, and I've watched this take place on the Indian Reservation in my dreams, connect me. If you or your friends need help, and you live elsewhere, also please connect with us. P.S. If I tagged you because I personally want you to know this. And my apologies for not sharing sooner, but I wasn't ready. I also tagged you because you're an influencer. And if you feel like helping me to get this to national attention level by helping us spread this information, the training on how to take the power back so more people can be helped, let me know. I also tagged you because you're in my community, and if you have known, I wanted to thank you for all of your support and keep you in the loop that this is public now, so you can talk about it. I can use all of your good thoughts and prayers. I love you guys. P.S. Going national with a press release in the coming weeks. P.P.S. To me, this also constitutes an act of self-love. Absolutely. Absolutely. You stand up for yourself. You speak your truth. You don't carry that shame. I carried a scarlet letter on my back by that same man that abused me, that beat me up. From my right hip all the way down to below my right knee was black and purple from bruising. The next day, broken blood vessels all through my body. I was in excruciating pain. He went and gave a talk at a wedding, and our family was all forced to stand together and take a family photo. I've got the family photo. You can see how happy I am. And he stood up on that platform and gave that talk about marriage, about how you're supposed to treat a wife, a female. This is a man. Now, he wasn't a 230-pound man. He was about 175 pounds, and he was about 5'10". But at that time, I was 17 and about 105 pounds and 5 feet tall. And he held me and beat me and beat me and beat me. Why? Because I snuck out and went to the movies with a boyfriend that I was dating for 6 months with their approval, but they now decided that they didn't want me with because they wanted me with someone else. He should have been in jail. And what did I do? I defended him. When my boyfriend found out, he said, I'm going to the police. And I said, no, please don't do that. And I kept it quiet. But then I did it again. I snuck out again, and he caught me. And he said, go to your room. I'll be there in 5 minutes. I was out the window. I was gone. I ran away. I disappeared for 3 months. He hid me. He hid me in hotel room, up and down the coast, spent all of his life savings, and then he's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't work. The police are at my door. So he sent me to his sisters in Colorado. This was my first husband, my son's father. And years later, we only were together a year because it was a disaster. My mother did everything she could to break up the marriage, and it happened because I was mind-fucked. Right? I was so controlled, and I didn't even know how much I was controlled that, even though I love this person, I was told that no, he lied to you, and he said this, and this isn't true, and I didn't know who to believe, and so I believed my parents, and I allowed it to happen, which my son lost his father, I lost my husband. And in the end, he didn't do anything wrong. And I've seen this history repeat. It's repeating in my own life. and when other people tell a lie and against you, and the person that you know is be told all these stories by religious people, and who am I supposed to believe? My family, my friends, my religious friends, or this person that I just met? You know, that, well, I don't know. What kind of a connection did you feel with that person? What did your heart say about that person? Did your heart say that that was that way that person would be? Or is that because all these other people mind-fucked you? Because you have been raised to have that control in your life, that you couldn't make the choices for your own life because somebody's always been controlling your life. It's happening here amongst the people that I know. It's pathetic and brutal. So many, many years later, I forgave my father, by the way, right away because my mother was nagging at him, nag, 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 and he just snapped, and that's why he did it. And I forgave him because I forgive just easily, right? I didn't think about the fact that, you know, whenever he got annoyed that I was biting my nails, he'd slap me on the back of the head so hard my head would fly forward. You know, the man was abused by a drunk stepfather in Germany. So what he did was learned behavior. The man that I was married to for 10 years that my parents chose abused me for 10 years. He was abused, and his mother was abused, and his brother was abused by also a very controlling, abusive man who was an elder in the congregation. So it goes on and on and on. Well, I am here to break this generational cycle. My daughter was sexually abused too. And people have said to me, don't speak about that. Don't talk about that. You're embarrassing her. No, you're wrong. I won't be quiet. You shouldn't be quiet. That's the control that they have. They think that you're going to be too embarrassed. You're going to be too ashamed. It is not our shame to carry. My father said to me when I was asking to go home after I was 3 months in Colorado and I was missing my family and my friends. I didn't know anybody there, and I asked if I could come home. He said to me, "Are you over him?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Then you're not welcome here." And I said, "Where am I supposed to go?" And he goes, "I don't know. Call your grandmother." So I did. I went to my grandmother's house. And there I met my birth father for the first time, and I wouldn't let him near me, and I was rude to him. I said, "My father's in California," because I was conditioned and I was loyal to this abuser. We are often very, very loyal to the ones who abuse us. I have been very, very loyal to the men in my life that have abused me emotionally, mentally, right? Who put me on a wait list. I send them a message and they answer a couple, and then they won't answer for 3 days because they're gonna control me. They're gonna make me do what they want me to do. And then they do the silent treatment like my mother did, right? I'm not gonna talk to her because I'm gonna make her come after me because I don't go after women. I don't need to go after women. They come to me. Not her. Not her. She doesn't chase anybody. An empress doesn't chase anybody. You don't like to hear that word, do you? Well, that means you're not an emperor, or maybe you are, because an emperor is extremely arrogant at times. Often an emperor is just in a royal line, and they haven't had to do the work. Normally, an emperor is somebody who rules over kings because they have done the work. Give me a dusty knight in beat-up armor over any emperor, you arrogant asshole. If you think that I'm going to come to you, you got another thing coming. Because why? Here's our first message Spirit gave us. Supernova. Supernova comes out with, what did we choose first? We chose the Cougar power. Damn straight. So for those who chose the Cougar, Supernova says, there's something inside of you that wants to be expressed. There is something inside of you that is dying to come out. Because you came in from another planet. You came in from another world. You came in from spirit. You were born into this 3D world, but that's not the reality of who you are. You've got a force inside of you, a force to be reckoned with. Look at this badass bitch. This one deserves a man. This one deserves a man, not a little boy who calls himself an emperor, not a little passive-aggressive control freak, right? Somebody said to me the other day, my friend Jacob said to me, "You deserve a bear man. You deserve a bear man." He goes, you are standing in your power. You are a goddess. Your energy is strong and powerful, and you're loving, and you fight for the underdog, and you're not afraid to speak. And you deserve a bear man, someone who's not threatened by your power, someone who doesn't run and cower from your power, but says, "There's my girl. That's my girl. I'm fucking proud of her." And if you don't like my language, click off. Sometimes that's just how it feels, right? So the number 8 is the infinity symbol. It means a never-ending supply of everything that you need in order to come forward. Supernova, what inside of you has wanted to come out? What inside of you is wanting to be expressed? What inside of you have you dumbed down? Something needs to be unleashed. Something needs to be expressed, let loose. Speak your real truth. Go after what it is that you want. Allow your creative energy to explode. Something wants to be created. You are a freaking rocket. Now, a rocket launcher, do you know what that is? That's like the sidekick, right? Sometimes you got a sidekick that gets you to a certain part. But then all of a sudden, that's done its job. So whatever it is that's brought you to the place where you are, you've had a sidekick. And you've gotten your lessons now. They did the work. You don't need them anymore. They fall off and you keep moving forward, right? You keep moving higher, raw, explosive. So you needed maybe these challenges to push you. Like the eagle. I was talking to my girlfriend, Ashley. She came back from Montana yesterday. I'm going to Montana with my little sexy beast. Hell yeah. I'm going to Montana. Man, you want to talk about power and strength and majesty. Wow. Connecting to the supreme ultimate source. Water is the greatest conductor of power, and that lake, Glacier National Park, magical with those colored rainbow rocks. Oh my God. We were talking about the eagle. She got the eagle when I did a reading for her. And the eagle is the only animal, all the other birds during a storm, they hunker down and they find shelter, but not the eagle. The eagle uses that force to propel itself higher. And so the challenge, whatever you've been through, I've been through a lot in my life, if I could count it. I don't sit here and feel sorry for myself. I don't have a victim consciousness. I get shit done and I let go. I'm not bitter. I don't sit here and be bitter and upset and worried about my stepfather. I used to wish him every couple of days, are you doing okay? How are you doing? Until he just said, stay the fuck away from me. You're demonic. You're demonic what you're doing. And I thought, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. You are so dead asleep and it's your loss, not mine. But I don't carry a grudge with it, right? He is no longer a part of the Jehovah's Witness congregation. Neither was my mother. But they were both so angry and bitter that it literally consumed my mother and she died of cancer. She couldn't let go of the guilt. She couldn't let go of the grief, because they pushed my little sister away, right? Everybody in their house had to be doing what they were told to do. And if they didn't do it, my father didn't have his children or his wife in subjection. That's why my ex abused me. Took me to a marriage counselor, convinced that they were gonna set me on my ass and put me in place. We went to a couple. It was interesting because I sat with the man, he sat with the woman, and then we sat together. And so the man asked my ex-husband what the problem was. And he said, she's not in subjection to me. And he says, what does that mean to you? And so he told him, and he says, by the definition of what you are describing is not what the world would call subjection. It would be called domination. And he stood up, and that was the end of our counseling session. We were in divorce court a week later. Thank you, God. Right now, 10 years later, he called me and apologized for his behavior because he grew up, right? He said, I didn't know any better. I was raised this way and I had a lot of responsibility and I was under a lot of pressure and I apologize for what I put you through. And I'd already forgotten it. I was, whatever. But I mean, it was brutal. So this one is being told, I'm not going to go on there. I'm just saying, I don't have that bitterness. So with my father, he had such anger and bitterness against the Jehovah's Witness organization, and yet he's so mentally mind-fucked that when I spoke about working with archangels, he went right back into that Jehovah's Witness mentality and was terrified. Oh my God, I've told you, how many years did we go and sit at the Kingdom Hall, Sherri? How many years? You stay the fuck away from me. You and your demonic practices. And I'm just like, wow, really? Because in my life, I speak about love and promoting peace and unity and standing up for people and defending people and living in a peaceful environment and choosing that. And you were abusive and you're angry and you're bitter. It's toxic energy. Spirit was trying to get me away from him all those years that I chased him. Think about that, the men in your life that you've chased. Yeah, Spirit's been trying to get you away from that narcissistic asshole. Don't do it. So right now, this is talking about intensity. Now, this is a different animal, the cougar, but I'm going to liken it to another cat, the cheetah. They're the fastest cat. They fast, but they can't sustain that speed, right? It's a sudden burst. I won the 50-yard dash in 6th grade, right? I'm not a long distance runner, but I can run really fast, short distances. So this is the same type of thing as far as the supernova. There's going to be a sudden burst like today, right? I said, I got triggered. Somebody lit a fire under my ass, right? I was like, wow, I met that woman yesterday. She was beautiful. She was peaceful, right? Now, no, I don't know the whole story. I don't know the whole story, but I know my story. And I didn't do anything wrong. And what I watched in my dreams, he didn't do anything wrong either. So there's a lot of people that are abused. So right now, shockwaves are going through your body, through your mind, through your world, and you might be uncertain about it, right? It may not have to do with abuse. It may have to do with something else. But there's something inside of you that's dramatic, that wants to be expressed, that wants to get out. And instead of holding on to your upbringing and your old ideas, your old belief systems, or maybe it's not appropriate for a woman to do this. Maybe it's not appropriate for a guy to do what I want to do. Maybe you want to do something that is not from the good old boys book, and you're a man, right? But you really love it. Like, you love to dance, you love to sing, you love to paint. You're an artist. And your family's like, what? They're a bunch of big bully police officers, bad police officers, right? So Spirit says, screw them and remember where you came from. Stop orbiting around this toxicity and that bullshit and grab on to who you truthfully are and start your new journey. You don't need to know how it's all going to turn out, right? You just need to take your first steps. We talked about this yesterday. So let go of holding yourself back. Release yourself from whatever it is that's been holding you back. Right now, when you let go, you're going to find out that the ones that were abusive, the ones that were controlling, the ones that were holding you back, they're not going to be able to get a hold of you. They're not going to be able to reach you. They're not going to be anywhere near your energy, because your energy is different, and you're orbiting in a whole other altitude, right? The way things were, the way that previous support systems that you've held are no longer available for you. You're not even in that same airstream right now. Even if you go to try and reach them, you won't reach them, because Spirit has orbited them out. You are orbiting in a different vibration, and be grateful for it. Stop trying to chase what Spirit's been pulling away from you, right? This is a new pattern, a new life. Allow this to happen. All right, now to counterbalance the intensity that I was feeling, I asked for the grace cards. I thought, let's bring something very peaceful to balance that, right? Now, I also have 333 The Naked Truth, which is my deck, and it's hard-hitting, but some of it's very beautiful too, right? Peaceful, it's all beautiful, but some of it is harsh and some of it is gentle. We'll see. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose the Cougar, dance. Dance. Now, there's confirmation. Maybe you like to dance. Oh, that's fucking gay. Are you kidding me? No, it's beautiful. It's harmony, and it feels good, and it's an expression, and it's the way that you just allow yourself to dance in harmony with the universe. When we ask for guidance, take action and put your faith in the outcome that you can't see. This is dancing with the universe. This is dancing with grace. You asked for guidance, take action by allowing, moving in harmony with it, okay? There's that. One card, please, Spirit, because we're already at almost at an hour. I'm asking for one. What is the most appropriate message for the most amount of people that will be watching this? Spirit knows how to get the messages together with the right amount of people. They know who's going to be watching what, right? And how the messages apply. They all apply differently, right? It's not all the same for everybody. If anybody would like help with a private reading or any of my other services that I provide, my website is www.theangelswhisper.com. Archangel Metatron gave me that name. My email address is sherricolumbus@yahoo.com. That was too many. I'm not taking 6. Correct for neutrality on all levels. There we go. They will figure it out. Yes. Good. Let them figure it out. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Correct for neutrality on all levels. One more. This is from the other deck. I have my 3 decks mixed up in one because I couldn't find my other little glass. Correct for neutrality. There are 333 cards in this deck. 3 stacks of 111. You hurt me. You hurt me. Say it. And say it like you mean it. Don't hold it back. Somebody says you hurt me or you hurt somebody else. You need to say that to somebody or somebody's going to say that to you, okay? So now we're going to go to, first of all, I'm going to give myself a squirt of this is my Angel's Whisper Organic Wellness line. It's made with essential oils and silver solution. It's great during all of this whole virus thing that everybody's going on about. I take silver solution in my water. my cat's water. I spray this on my face every single day. I have it in my toothpaste. I have it in my mouthwash. I have it on my body, gel, any kind of wounds that I have. And this is all made up of essential oils that I was given angelic guidance to find every one of these essential oils. So I spray this on my face all day long. It's warm out here. Smells amazing. It's healing. Essential oils and flower essences and silver solution. If you're interested, go check out my website. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose Freya, and I certainly damn did. I freaking love her. Gosh, man. You know, when you're in the right energy, you would think, because I'm thinking, oh, who needs a woman with balls, right? Who needs a man woman? I've been told that before. And obviously it's because I was in the presence of a man who should have been wearing a skirt. Because I've been in the presence of very gentle men that have the energy, the ability to just make me melt. You don't have to be aggressive, right? It doesn't have to happen that way. But sometimes it happens. Sometimes it's necessary. Two very strong people make a very, very strong team, right? And strength can be quiet. Strength can be gentleness. Strength can be compassion, forgiveness. Absolutely. But sometimes we go to war, right? And my cats stand next to me. I love her. She's beautiful. She's carved out of wood. Isn't she fabulous? I laughed because I said she's got my body. Kind of chunky thighs, little tummy, great boobs. I braided my hair like that yesterday too. It's really cool. I should have done it today right here. I like her a lot. Okay, she's got twins that stand next to her. So, correct for neutrality on all levels. That's the energy that's working with us right now, those who chose that card. Correct for neutrality on all levels. I mean, that item, wow, that guy looks like my twin soul going by me. Or the one I thought was my twin soul anyway. He's carrying a bathroom sink in the back of his truck. Time to wash something down the sink? I was gonna say, I wonder if there was a toilet there. Maybe it's time to flush something. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Correct for neutrality. Coming clean comes to mind. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Correct for neutrality. For those who chose Freya, that one? The Sacred Fool. Ha! Love this. Told you guys I was an Aries. Okay, in the tarot, the Fool is the Aries card, but it's also adventure, the beginning of something. Now, what I love about this is they give the example, and this Sacred Fool has got blue eyes and dark hair, and other people call him a clown. And I got, you know that song, I feel like I've been surrounded by clowns and liars. Take off your mask. Well, this one's not wearing a mask, but other people have called them foolish. Other people have called me crazy, foolish, right? They don't call me crazy anymore. Now the people that were calling me crazy come to me for readings because they know how connected I am. And they know that I will do what Spirit tells me to do, and I will say what Spirit tells me to say, no matter who I'm facing, period. And that's what the Sacred Fool does. The king doesn't go to his knights in the round table, his knights in shiny armor, his little prissy ones. He goes to the court jester. Why? Because he knows when he asks a question of that one, they'll tell the truth. They're not smart enough to lie and put on a mask. He doesn't wear a mask. Right? It is what, I'll just tell you the truth. It reminds me of the Heyoka. And Kokopalian is the Heyoka. I've got them on my house. The Heyoka will allow themselves to appear foolish because they're tricking your soul into doing what you should have done all along. Right? So the Sacred Fool, the king goes to the Sacred Fool and asks for the truth, and the Sacred Fool gives it. He knows that he's not going to trust the ones closest to him, the ones that sit at his right side. I don't even know why he employs them, because he knows they're just going to kiss his ass. He knows they're just going to tell him what he wants to know, because they don't want to lose their position, or they want to be elevated in a position of authority. So they'll tell him, I don't want you to tell me what I want to hear. I said that to Ashley yesterday. I said that your friends, if they're your friends, if you're doing something wrong, if you're going down the wrong path, or you're doing something that's going to hurt you, your friends aren't going to just say, you know, we're on your team, we're on your side. They're going to say, hey, you're fucking up. Or if you've done something wrong, they're not going to defend you. You go rob a store, you freaking come tell me, I'm not defending you. You know what you did was wrong, right? So he goes to the Sacred Fool, and the Sacred Fool says, well, this is the truth of the matter. And the king says, thank you. And what does that make the king? that makes the king wise, right? Makes the king wise to listen to the sacred fool. He knows who to listen to. I think he'd be a lot wiser if he dismissed his army of idiots that work for him, right? So there's another mention in this, the sacred fool. It's talking about doing something that other people would think is foolish. Like when I came to Sedona, Spirit said to me, you need to go on a retreat now. They'd been telling me that for weeks, and I knew that. I was trying to get my little trailer ready. My landlord tore it apart in an attempt to keep me there, and I said, I'm going, I've got to go, but he knew that I would be too responsible. I couldn't leave that in pieces on his property and go. So I was desperately trying to get it done, and 10 months went by and I wasn't getting it done, and Spirit kept bringing me the osprey. And the osprey said, there's an opportunity in front of you and you need to dive on it. The time is short. If you don't dive on this opportunity, it won't come back around again for a very long time, if ever. And the osprey only came very infrequently to the lake, but he came again and again, and I just knew. I was getting nervous, I just knew. And then my phone line stopped ringing, and I knew. As soon as my phone line stopped, Spirit's done. They said, we've given you enough time. And so I said to my landlord, I'm going now. And I had people write to me and say, are you kidding me? Have you thought this through? The COVID virus is going on. The governor of California is threatening to shut the California border. You're going for 5 days. What if you can't get back? And I said, have you thought this through? No, I don't need to think this through, because Spirit told me to do it. And if Spirit tells me to do it, there's a reason. And if I get stuck there, I guess I'm meant to be there. Well, obviously, I am. So 5 days turned into 3 weeks. I kept extending, and then I thought, you know what? I could handle being here for a few months. I like this. And it was all arranged, right? And then I decided, I'm not leaving. This suits me here. Spirit, bring me this house. And they arranged it, right? So everything that could have been chaotic and scary, it was chaotic, and I wasn't scared though, because Spirit told me to do it. I knew that they would work it out. So at this time, there's something that you're thinking of doing that other people think that you're foolish to do. Why would you do something like that? Why would you leave your job and be a farmer? Why would you leave your job and start dancing and go on theater? Why would you go to Arizona when the governor of California is threatening to shut the border down? Why would you give up your studio in Canyon Lake when you move to Arizona for 3 months? What happens at the end of 3 months and you've got all of your furniture here and you don't have your place there any longer? And what about your trailer? I wasn't gonna worry about it. And my landlady said to me after I'd settled in and started doing all this, she loves having me here. She goes, doesn't look like with all the stuff you're bringing in here that you're planning on leaving anytime soon. And I said, I would rather not. And she said, you're welcome to stay here. So my landlord said something to me yesterday. He said, you know, I'm the only one that cares. Nobody else cares. Nobody else would have done anything for you. I did this, fixed this trailer. No, I manifested that through you. I said to Spirit, I need that done. Have him repair the part that he tore apart. That's all I wanted, right? But he continued to do more. That's on him. I'm not beholding to him. I'm grateful. It's wonderful. But I'm not beholding on that, because that's his call, right? But it was but then I get the backhanded stuff, like, you know, nobody else would do this for you. I only would do this for you. Nobody else cares about you. And then right then I got a post, a tag by my Uncle Phil in Wisconsin about when I was there 2 years ago, and my mama Sherri, these are my soul family, liked it and so miss you. And then I got a message from my friend Tammy in Wisconsin. I got a Green Bay Packer coffee cup. It's brand new. I'm going to send it to you. And you know, they're here for me. I'm sitting on a cushion. They sent me. You know, I mean, this ring was sent to me. This is somebody that I've never even met in person. This is soul family, right? And then I did a post that you guys might have seen on my Facebook about listening to Spirit. I don't understand it, and I wish more people trusted in Spirit like I do and did what Spirit asked them to do and realized that they would be okay, that they would be blessed. So I did this whole thing, and Spirit said, when the great wave comes, go to the mountain with the tablets. Well, the great wave was this COVID thing, right? I didn't even know. I came to the mountain, and I rested my back upon the mountain, which is Spirit, which is Thunder Mountain. The goddess, she's up there. She rests her back on the mountain. There's a squirrel on the other side that says, prepare for big changes. Get ready, right? So I said, I listened, and Spirit says, we're proud of you. Look at where you were, and look at where you are now. We're proud of you. We're here to say, we're proud that you listened to what you were told, because all we ever wanted was for you to be happy. All we ever want is what's in your highest good, if you would only trust us. And I do trust them. And because of that, they said, you're being blessed, and am I ever? So right now, with the Sacred Fool, the Fool is saying, be foolish enough to make a choice that others may not agree with. right? Even if it might seem illogical, because there is no logic in spirit. It's spiritual, right? It's not sensible. My grandmother wore sensible shoes and it wore a sensible coat. I don't dress sensibly. I hike like this. I like it. My rings mean something to me. My bracelets, my crystals are powerful to me. I climb trees. Is it sensible for a 55-year-old woman to climb the tree in her front yard? I thought it was. My neighbors thought it was. She just went by and waved at me. Yesterday, I came out after I climbed my tree the day before, and she says, "Hi, Sherri, how are you?" She liked that, right? Some people don't. Some people think it's crazy. My father, my stepfather, thinks it's crazy. So cast aside everybody's opinion, right? Cast aside the fake faces that they give you, the fake approval that they don't really even approve you of. And then be unafraid to live your life the way that you wish to live it. There's a lot to be said about common sense and practicality. We need a balance, right? Obviously, we need a balance. We can't be just flying off without any thought of anything being done. Well, my trailer's getting done. I'm going to go pick it up. I'm bringing it back here, and I'm freaking going to Montana. So don't listen to the voices that are in your head, that are preconditioned from your childhood or family or friends that tell you that you're naive, that you're foolish, that you're delusional, that that'll never work. That will never work. You will never be able to figure that out. You will never be able to fix that. Lies, 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 lies. Everything and anything is possible. Don't listen to that. The king went to the fool. He went to the fool. He didn't go to those shining knights. They aren't shining. Don't trust a shining knight. They haven't been through the battle. Trust the one with dents in his armor, the filthy, dirty one that's been in the battlefield. Trust that one. So the fool is saying right now something that's going to come that might feel inconvenient to you. It might feel a little frightening, or it might be really exciting, or it might be a mixture of all of that, right? It might be your turn to turn something completely upside down in somebody else's world or in yours. Somebody might say that that's ridiculous. It's too dangerous to do that. My landlord goes, you don't you be taking that trailer anywhere. You know, you don't know that it's, and I'm like, you know what? It's my trailer. I'll take it where I see fit taking it, right? So you're not going to win the game of life if you don't take a risk, right? You gotta step off that ledge to take that leap of faith. So when the sacred fool shows up, and I got this message, I chose Freya. This is my message. So clearly, I'm being told to take a leap of faith, right? I'm being told to live, and I'm gonna bloody do it. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose Freya, the badass bitch, correct for neutrality on all levels. Ha! Peace! Peace! Montana, peace. When we balance silence with activity, we discover true peace of mind and the source of all joy and happiness. So when you get frenetic in your head, when your mind starts being overactive, and you've got all that crazy making going on all around you, get quiet, get out into nature, go climb a tree, go for a walk. Close your eyes, watch the birds, listen to the wind in the trees, and listen to the wind chimes. Count your blessings, right? Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose Freya, what is the message, Father? One of you, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, Mom, Grandma, any one of you guys can pull these out. I like it when you pull it out. I like when the cards just flip out. Woo! Not that many, you guys. Not that many. Can you give me a bit of time to think about this? Can you give me a bit of time to process this? Well, I don't know. Will it take you 6 years to process it? Correct for neutrality on all levels. Any more in this deck? Oh yeah, remember it was only one. Whoops, they just threw out two. Because I don't get to make the choice for a lot of things, right? Because sometimes I think I know what I'm doing in my highest good. But obviously, when the door gets slammed in your face over and over again and somebody or something gets taken out, Spirit is trying to tell you something. Okay, two here. Don't take it personally. Relax. It's not personal, it's just a message. If you're getting triggered by this, don't take it personally. Listen to the message. If this doesn't apply to you, if that's not the kind of person, if that's not the story, if that's not the way it went, then it's not your message. Chill. You will get the job, the position, the house, or the car. You will get it. Yeah. Somebody asked me to join a group here in Sedona. They said, we need you. It was the person that I met at the water place. They've got a bunch of readers and psychics and energy healers coming together in a big group, and they want me to join them. I didn't know if I wanted to do it. You know, I like being independent. Woo! So they threw out a card. Pray about it. Pray about it. I'm open and receptive to the power of grace in my life right now. I ask to be shown clear examples of how this energy is operating in my life. That was just a side. All right, for those who chose the lion people, the lion energy, Archangel Ariel, the angel of finances, the angel of animals, she sits with the lion, and sometimes the lion's greatest strength is compassion, kindness, forgiveness, and understanding. Sometimes the lion has to roar, right? Okay. I don't know if you guys see this little setup I've got here. I like the way it's set up. This lights up, and it's all trees. Freya, of course, is from the forest. These are all of my, these all mean something very special to me. My acorn man, a very solid love. The pod, this is from Wisconsin. These are from up in my sequoias. Isn't that amazing? This just reminds me, all of this, but this especially reminds me of sacred geometry. It's also healing. It's the snake. Look at that, that's nature. It looks like it's woven. It's just incredible. Okay, for those who chose the lion, I need a drink. I got new chia seeds from Natural Grocers yesterday. They taste a little different, I like them. There's white chia seeds and there's dark ones. Superfood, super hydrated. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose the lion, I apologize that I don't do readings for a while, but I'm very busy. And then when I do them, they're quite long. So it's probably, right now it's 1:11, 1 hour and 11 minutes. Keep your thoughts positive, because everything you're thinking about right now, you're manifesting. So elevate your thinking. I'm looking at a snake. I'm looking at healing. I'm looking at a very complicated heart that is healing. Correct for neutrality on all levels. You're looking at a very complicated heart that is healing. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Do you understand what I say when I say correct for neutrality on all levels? That means I'm not making this personal, that this is not me, my energy choosing this. I am a channel. People say I don't like a channel. Okay, well then I am a seer. I am a conduit. I am simply a mouthpiece. I'm the mailman, mail lady. That's why you don't take it personally. Do you take it personally when the mail lady delivers your divorce papers? No. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Correct for neutrality on all levels. You're fired, says the mail. You're gonna go chase the mail lady down and yell at her? You brought that on. No. The Proud Pirouette. So we got pride happening in two ways here. And the number is 33, which I like because that's Ascended Masters working with you. And I've got many. But pride goeth before the fall, right? But we need to have pride in ourselves. It's vital. So are you proud of who you are? Are you proud of what you're doing? Are you proud of what you've accomplished? Are you proud that you have learned lessons in your life and then you've taken those lessons and used them to better your life and others? Are you proud of that? Are you feeling shame or judgment or guilt? Do you carry that around on your back? What do you want? What do you feel would be a more comfortable state of being? The choices that you make come from a place of self-judgment, and then you are beating yourself up, right? When you come from a place of self-love and feeling good, you're an enlightened being, right? Spirit says you've got nothing to regret. You've learned a lot. I said I grew up in a Jehovah's Witness household until 13 years ago. I always say 13 years. It might be a little longer now. And I don't regret it. I don't regret anything because I've learned. And if I didn't go through all of that, I wouldn't be able to honestly, empathetically say, I understand what you're going through, because I've been through it. Yes, I have. And I'm not sitting here feeling sorry for myself, and I'm not a victim. And I am successful, and I'm able to manifest, right? So you got to think about what you're telling yourself. Keep your head up. Have you felt like you've fallen off your path? I've lost my footing. I've slipped. We've all slipped. We've all slipped. We've all thought we were going in the right direction and made a mess of it, right? Did you make a mistake? Ooh, did you trust the wrong person? Did you misunderstand something? It's called misunderstand, right? Did you assume something? Assuming is never good. Don't assume, ask. Did you pull back and not allow anybody to understand the truth of it? So you were misunderstood and brought your own drama upon yourself. Spirit says, if you're understanding that, or maybe life's getting you down, things are just too heavy, there's a lot of sadness, there's a lot of chaos, stop focusing on all of that darkness, right? Spirit says, it's okay. We all have lessons. We're all at different levels. I may excel in this and you may excel at that. Be proud of what you're excelling. Be proud that you're recognizing, wow, shit, I wasn't seeing that correctly. I need to look at that in a different way. I'm corrected constantly, constantly. I got like instant karma. You know when you've paid off your karma, because then you get it instantly. I say something wrong and bam, Spirit tells me right away, okay, straighten myself up. I don't spend hours condemning myself or feeling bad. I can publicly say, okay, you know what? I stand corrected. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. So if somebody is ridiculing you or shaming you or judging you, you're around the wrong people. You're in the wrong space, right? Maybe you're doing it to yourself. Maybe it's time to seek out other people. Maybe it's time to seek out other situations, other jobs, where you will run into other opportunities, other places to live. I run into opportunities everywhere I go. People, I meet the people that I meant to meet. I didn't meet anybody in Canyon Lake because I stayed squirreled away up in that little tower. I met nobody. It wasn't that there weren't any spiritual people there. I just didn't go anywhere, right? So it's not the world's fault that I'm missing every opportunity because I keep myself holed up like Rapunzel in a tower where I'm safe. I wasn't safe because I was in a toxic environment, right? So whatever it is that is being hurtled at you at this moment, that is in ways of judgment or ridicule or blame or caustic words or disapproval, water off a duck's back. It's not your problem, it's their problem. They don't like it, that's their problem. Don't take it on. I refuse to take it on. Don't take on the guilt. Oh my God, the emotional manipulators. I've done this for you, I've done that for you. Oh, well, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not taking it on, sorry. I won't be guilted. I won't be guilted. You want to do something for me, that's wonderful, thank you very much. But I am not beholding to you. No, I'm not going to be guilted. I make my choices from my heart. And when I come to a crossroad, I ask myself, where am I going to be more peaceful? Where am I going to be more useful to other people? Where am I going to be in a place of balance? Where am I going to be where my soul feels alive? I'm hot here. It's hot here, right? Me and Ashley, we were talking yesterday, Ashley and I, and we were just saying, I grew up in the forest. Clearly I have forest all around me. Everything I have around me is like forest. I do have forest here, but it's hot. And Spirit said to me, where do you see yourself in a year? And I said, closer to the mountains. So, but I'm here right now, and I said to Spirit, I could see myself for 3 months. And then I got here and I loved it. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna stay here until I'm married or until you bring me something better. Well, woo! I just saw a tornado go through. Let's see if it goes by here. It was a whirlwind, and it was literally a